everybody. My name is Casey. I am your holistic nurse. I talk everything about digital marketing with a holistic twist. You know, I'm always here to give you value as you are starting, growing, or scaling your business. Okay, so today it's going to be an interesting topic, okay? And I chose the theme do not disrespect yourself. Not because you were disrespecting yourself, but there was some things I had to learn that I was disrespecting myself, and it was messing with my money. It was messing with my flow. So I wanted to share it just in case you have done it, you're doing it right now, or you potentially will do it in the future. I hope this is of value to you. So, of course, I usually have my little banners because I could get carried off. So, the first one I wanted to talk about was understanding respect, understanding value, respecting value. Okay. So, we have a world where we like words like discount, free, bargain, right? Free, cheap, right? Sometimes it's as though those words, especially the word free, it doesn't really do justice to humanity and understanding what value is. So I really like where the world is going in terms of the way we're using currency. Now you have social currency, and there's a lot of different currencies happening, not just monetary value. And in understanding value, right, is basically it comes down to everything has an intrinsic worth and a perceived worth, right? Including you. So I'm the kind of person, I just love people. So somebody asks me to do something, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yes, 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 yes. And then I realize not only am I burnt out, but I don't have time to do what I want to do, what I need to do. And so many of my things are put on the back burner. And I realized that I did not respect or value my intrinsic value, right? And of course, learning boundaries and everything like that. But when you realize everything has a value, even if something is for free, you know that nothing really is free because everything has value. So I'm not gonna keep going on that subject. Embrace costs. Everything costs because everything has value. So because everything has value, everything has a cost. So if someone asks you to do something, right, and it is for free, right, meaning there is no charge to them, it doesn't, because it's free to them doesn't mean that it was given to them without cost, because there is value. There's value of time, there's value of product. If somebody hands you something, free on the street and say, hey, this is for free, it's a difference between this is no cost to you versus this has no value, right? So I think knowing the difference is really, really important, because you will be very careful with not just what you accept that is free, but what you give that is free. As a business owner, if the value that you're giving is really, really profound and it's really, really loaded, right? But you're giving it for free. If the audience who you're giving it for free does not really appreciate or understand the value of it, you would have diminished the value of the thing that you're giving. And let me, my point of reference is always the Holy Scriptures. And it's like when Jesus talks about throwing pearls before swine, it's not always that somebody doesn't appreciate your value. Some people don't have the capacity to even be aware of your value. Just like the swine would trample a pearl, because for the swine in their consciousness, they're like, is this food? Could I eat it? No, trash, right? And for some people, if they don't know how to use in a practical way the value that you have, your information, your product, or your service would be trampled by them. And it's so easy for someone who has something so precious and so valuable to think that something is wrong with the value of the product or service that they have to deliver, or the talents and abilities that they have, when in reality, it's the wrong environment. And the reason why I say this, because I see a lot of valuable people have a lot of valuable, either it's content or products, but the audience is wrong. And I was really guilty about this myself, because I had to realize, even taking my thoughts and my ideas, I had to realize, when people are struggling, when people are just trying to survive, there are certain things, like concept, that they are just really not thinking about. And it doesn't make them bad people. It does not make them ignorant. It doesn't even make them unconscious. It's just the state where they're in. And that's why, if you heard about Maslow's theory, hierarchy of needs, right? Self actualization is not until the very, very top, because most people, when they're just looking for food, clothing, shelter, or love and relationship, they're not thinking about self actualizing. So I'm just saying this because if you have something and you may not be seeing it going like hotcakes, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. It might just be the audience that you're taking it to is not the right audience. And I comfort myself because, even Jesus, he said, he talked about Jerusalem. He was like, I wanted to gather them like a chick gathers hens, but they didn't want it. Even God with the nation of Israel, like he wanted so much for them. But, all those people perish in the wilderness because they just was not there. So don't feel bad if, you know, I think even if the maker of heaven and earth has been there, you're in good company. But I think it's just something that I had to learn, that it's better to reflect on who can actually use the value. Like, is my whatever I have, or whatever I think, or however I want to serve, the value that I have, does it align with the audience? Will it be useful, helpful, practical to them, right? And if not, who? Who? Who can I give this to that will really, really treasure it, right? Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about was watching out for unconscious thieves. Now, let me talk about YouTube, because it's easy for people to say, man, you could go on YouTube and you could find all this stuff for free, right? People just go on there and they just share everything. Like they say, they spill the tea for free, right? But realizing value, if you understand value, and I have to use YouTube because you it's gonna make my point about the thiefing. If you understand value, you would see that people who are on YouTube, yes, they're giving out a lot of information, but because they're giving out the information, they get the value that's generated to them comes in the form of views, likes, interactions, right? So when people in the audience listen, share, comment, subscribe, right, they are actually getting that back. And YouTube rewards them for that value by giving them a check, right? So at the end of the day, it's not free. It's of no charge to the viewer, but it was not for free, right? And this is why I encourage people who are valuable. This is why I do my visibility and value package, because you can get your value out there in a way that it just perpetuates. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you need some help, we have a whole team designed dedicated just to help you with your YouTube channel. But it's it's valuable for so many different ways, even though there's no exchange of money with the person watching. There certainly is an exchange of value with the person watching, right? Every minute they watch counts as time for them, right? So there is an exchange. So when people consume or when people take invaluable thing, and this is just a thought of personal development that I had to learn. When you take in something that is valuable, whether it be an idea, a thought, a product, or a service, right? There should be some idea, something that triggers within you when you understand and hold the value. There should be something in you that says an exchange of value needs to happen. And this is how I want to teach my son. I don't want to just tell him, oh, don't steal, oh, don't take somebody's thing without asking. I think that's a very low level way to teach this point. I want to teach him, when you receive something of value, you need to think that you need to remember that you are a person of value as well. And an exchange needs to happen. And if that exchange does not happen, that is called stealing. If you get something of value and there is no exchange of value happening, that is called stealing, right? So if you go and you consume somebody's content and you're like learning, you're like, yep, I learned that. I want that. I want to remember that. And nothing ever crossed your mind to say, maybe I should just like this. Maybe I should just forward this, share this with somebody else. There is some action. Maybe I should tell somebody about this, right? Then you, in effect, have not really given the value. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying, like, this is my thought process, right? How do I give value back to someone who's giving value to me? And I'm saying that, and I'm not saying it in an accusing way, because, and this is why I'm saying this, some people don't recognize the value within themselves. So some people don't realize that if they experience something good and then they go and share it with their friends, that that is a valuable action. Some people don't realize that if they experience something good and they talk about it because they are valuable, that is a valuable action, right? So a lot of people's mind on value is very limited and fixated to money. But I just wanted to share that your value is you. So if your value is you and you are ever in a position where you can exchange value, right? It might not always be that somebody is looking for your dollars and cents. And sometimes people ask for dollars and cents because they don't trust that you are going to value their content enough to share it, to promote it, to talk about it. There's a quote that goes around on LinkedIn, and I love it. I love it because it says, be the person that will mention people's name in a room full, like in a room where their name needs to be mentioned. Some people, they will be talking, they have a friend, they know the friend have the solution to this problem, and they would be in a room talking with people who are looking for it and never mention their name. Never mention the name, right? So I'm just saying this because I know the people on this channel who were following me. I know they are people of significant value, but sometimes it's hard to see the value in ourselves. And that goes into my last point about speaking the truth, right? Words are very, very powerful. And sometimes, because we don't see the value in ourselves, it is very, very easy for us to start speaking lies, right? And you hear people say, and they say it in slight, or, oh, I'm nobody's significance. Oh, I'm so silly. I'm so dumb. And we all these after. Do you know I am is like the most powerful thing you can say? And then we attach all these negatives that are not even the truth. Even sometimes people catastrophize. I'm always late. Are you really always the every single thing, right? Or, like, for instance, as a business owner, it's so easy. I mean, it's so easy to say somebody brings something to you, and it's so easy to say, I can afford that. We can afford that. But maybe changing the language a little bit will be a better reflection on the truth. Because instead of saying I can't afford it, what if you said we don't have that in our budget just yet, right? Now think about what that those words are going to do to your company, for your company, right? Or if someone asks you if you can do this or that, right? How about instead of saying I don't know how to do that, or we don't do that, how about saying we have not yet developed the training to do that? Because it shows that you can expand and you can grow and you can learn and you can include different things into your personal life or into your business, right? But if you use certain words, it shuts you down. It shuts you from growing in your worth and your value, right? So when I say don't disrespect yourself, sometimes we disrespect ourselves. I know I did it a lot by the words that we use, the way we represent, the way we show up. When I talk all about it, you are your brand and you are your business. So when you talk about yourself, in what manner are you speaking about yourself? Is it reflective of the brand, not just that you have right now, but where you visioned your brand to be and who you visioned your company to be? It could be you and your mama, right? Work in your company, right? But how do you speak of it? Do you speak of it like, oh, we just doing a little something, we doing a little catering, right? And do you show up like that? If you have a nonprofit, right? When you have meetings for your board meetings and when you have inviting people, right? You show up in a wife beater and a slippers, right? And you say, oh, we just starting up a little something. You are the one who are showing people your value. How are you showing up, right? Are you showing up to where you want to be? Are you showing up at the level and the value that you have, even at the thoughts, even if you have not executed yet? Are you showing up at the level of thoughts and ideas that your organization or your company has? Or are you showing up with what you see around you? Because I believe at the base of whatever it is that you are starting, an organization, a group, a sisterhood, a community, a YouTube channel, whatever it is, at the base of it, I propose that it is a divinely inspired thing that is put on your heart to do. So when you don't show up right and when you don't give it the correct value of not what it is today, but what it could be in the future, right? Just think, we talk a lot about energy. Just think about the energies that you are reflecting and drawing to your organization. Some people, they have nonprofits and they say, I can never get a board to stay, right? But think about it, right? What type of board are you attracting? How are you showing up? How are you preparing? How are you planning? How are you organizing your business, right? Because how you're doing that is what influences what's going to be attracted to you. So I am here to let you know, brother, sister, friend, don't disrespect yourself. And I'm talking to you, but I'm really talking to myself because this was a serious conversation that Holy Spirit dropped to me and say, when you diminish yourself and you, in the name of humility, which is not really humility, when you demean yourself, when you think of yourself as a small person trying a little thing, doing a little something, right? When God put big ideas and big dreams and big goals into your heart, you are diminishing the value of your vision. And it's going to just lead to frustration because you're not going to allow yourself the energy to attract the help and resources you need. So I'm sharing this. I'm sharing it with you as I shared it with myself. And I hope this blesses somebody. I hope this gives you some kind of perspective or insight, something that is really valuable. Because what I would like to see for you is I would like for you, when you walk into a room, to be very much respected. I would like for everyone to know the value that you have to bring to the world because you are valuable. And I am in your corner, and me and my team, we're here to serve you. So if there's any way we can help you, reach out to us for a discovery call. If you just really enjoyed this content, we would appreciate if you shared your value by liking, subscribing, or even telling a friend. I thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. You have a wonderful day.